Chapter 3. A Vision of Expansion. Viridian 3 spun silently beneath the velvet cloak of space, its verdant sweeps and silvered waters a stark contrast to the dark void. Above this alien jewel, the orbiting colony's central command ship hung like a vigilant sentinel, its gleaming metal surfaces reflecting both the starlight and the radiant glow from below. Inside it, the atmosphere was charged with an anticipation that bordered on fervor, all centered around one man, Director Gideon Frost. Frost stood at the forefront of the colony's observation deck, his figure casting a long shadow over the holographic displays that painted the dimly lit room with soft ambient light. His eyes, sharp and calculating, mirrored the cold stars outside. Today, he would unveil his ambitious plans for Viridian 3, a vision that promised prosperity but flirted dangerously with the unknown. As we stand on the threshold of a new era, let us not shy away from the mantle of progress, Frost began, his voice resonant, filling the room with a confident, almost palpable energy. The assembled crowd of engineers, scientists, and colonists leaned in, their expressions a mix of admiration and skepticism. Frost's gaze swept over his audience, his demeanor unyielding. Our forebears on Earth reached out to the stars with a spirit of discovery and a will to endure. Today, we embrace that same spirit here on Viridian 3, not just to survive, but to thrive. He motioned to the large screen behind him, which flickered to life, displaying a series of expansive industrial complexes, their structures superimposed on the untouched landscapes of Viridian 3. Our expansion project will commence with the establishment of 5 new factories, he declared, pointing to the images where metallic behemoths stood, juxtaposed against the lush, bioluminescent jungles and pristine shores. Each site was chosen with strategic precision, tapping into the planet's rich, albeit largely unexplored, natural resources. Frost continued, outlining the extraction processes for minerals crucial to the construction of interstellar travel components, essential for the colony's self-sufficiency and future expansion. His vision was clear, a colony bursting at the seams with potential, a beacon of human ingenuity and resolve. Yet, for all its grandeur, Frost's plan harbored a silent adversary, one that Dr. Alara Miles would soon struggle to unveil: the delicate balance of an alien ecosystem, untested by the invasive hands of human ambition. The director's voice dipped into a cadence of certainty as he discussed the logistics and anticipated outputs, the projections dazzling, yet daunting. In 3 months, we begin, Frost announced, the finality in his voice brooking no room for doubt. Applause erupted, the sound echoing off the high ceilings as the image of Viridian 3 slowly rotated on the screen. A planet poised on the cusp of transformation. After the presentation, the crowd dispersed, conversations abuzz with fragments of Frost's vision. But amidst the clatter and clang of renewed purpose, there lay an undercurrent of unease. Some shared sidelong glances, their excitement tempered by the scale of the undertaking. Others debated the potential impacts, their voices a low murmur against the hum of the ship. Frost remained by the window, his eyes on the horizon of Viridian 3. The planet's vibrant hues seemed to pulse back at him, a silent heartbeat, unyielding and wild. It was a world of infinite possibilities, and for Gideon Frost, a world to mold in the crucible of progress, regardless of the hidden costs that might lurk beneath its luminous canopies. Chapter 4. The Artifact. The bioluminescent forest of Viridian 3 whispered secrets in the twilight. Dr. Alara Miles, her boots soft against the spongy moss, paused to watch the dance of light amongst the leaves, a natural luminescence that throbbed in sync with the planet's subtle rhythms. Tonight, the forest seemed more alive, more communicative, as if it were trying to speak directly to her heart. Alara and her small team of researchers had ventured deeper into the forest than any colonist had before. The air was thick with the sweet, sharp scent of alien flora, and every breath seemed to fill them with a sense of purpose. Their objective was a region uncharted, yet highlighted by orbital scans as an anomaly, a place where the fabric of the natural order appeared subtly altered, a mysterious blip on their sensors that had persisted for weeks. As they approached the coordinates, the forest canopy thickened, the bioluminescent glow intensifying to a radiant azure that cast surreal shadows on their faces. Alara's lead researcher, Jonah, pointed ahead where the undergrowth had given way to a clearing. At its center stood an object unlike anything human eyes had witnessed on this or any world. An artifact, angular and metallic, pulsing with a soft blue light that matched the forest's glow. The team circled the artifact cautiously. It was roughly the size of a small terrestrial car, but shaped like none of the sleek, aerodynamic machines back on Earth. Its edges were sharply geometric, forming an irregular polyhedron that seemed to twist light and shadow around it in impossible ways. The surface was smooth and cold to the touch, composed of a material that resembled polished obsidian, yet felt infinitely denser. "Looks like nothing we've catalogued before," Jonah murmured, running his hands over the contours of the alien object. His voice held a mix of awe and the slightest quiver of fear. Alara, notebook in hand, began to document every detail. The artifact had no visible seams or openings. It was a monolith of unknown purpose. Embedded in its surface were intricate patterns, lines that spiraled into fractals, and geometric shapes that seemed to shift subtly when viewed from different angles. She sketched them meticulously, her mind racing with questions. What was its function? Why was it here? Could this be a remnant of the planet's original inhabitants? Or something even more ancient? As night deepened, the artifact began to change. The patterns on its surface brightened, and a low hum resonated through the air, felt more than heard. The ground beneath their feet vibrated faintly, sending a ripple of alarm through the team. "Do you feel that?" asked Tessa, her voice barely above a whisper as she knelt to place her instruments on the ground. "Yes," Alara replied, her excitement tinged with a scientist's caution. "It's activating or reacting. Could be due to our presence or something else. We need to gather as much data as we can." They worked quickly, deploying sensors and recording devices around the clearing. Alara took samples of the soil, the air, and the plant life that seemed to grow more vigorously around the artifact. The more they discovered, the less they understood. But Alara felt a thrill of discovery that she hadn't felt since her first days on Viridian 3. Hours passed, and the artifact's light grew more intense, its hum a constant backdrop. Then, as suddenly as it had begun, the light dimmed, and the humming ceased. The forest fell silent, leaving only the sound of their breathing and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. Alara stood back, gazing at the now dormant artifact. She knew they had uncovered something monumental, a mystery locked in a loop of light and sound, waiting for the right key. Her mind was alive with possibilities, with theories that needed testing, and answers that beckoned just beyond reach. As they packed up their equipment, Alara's determination solidified. This artifact could hold the key to understanding not just the ecology of Viridian 3, but perhaps the very blueprint of its long-lost civilizations. Whatever risks lay ahead, she knew one thing for certain. She would be the one to unlock its secrets. Subscribe for more.